When we have awakened awareness, we can move from reaction to resonance. So the emotions are no longer as reflex, but more as harmonic attunement. That way, we can move from turbulence to transparency. So feelings clearing until they reveal their source field. I was looking at ancient rituals. This was called the scapegoat complex. The community in ancient rituals would symbolically place all their sins and mistakes and collective shadow onto a scapegoat, the one who would carry away the darkness into the wilderness. But what happens when we become our own scapegoat?
Interesting. Because I was thinking one of the reasons why those kinds of rituals are so powerful and really necessary. I was raised in the Catholic tradition, and one of the things that you do is you go to confession. You confess all your sins to a supposedly neutral other who will hear your sins and then not run away screaming, and will sit and listen and absolve you. That's why when I created the Forgiveness Made Easy process that I take my clients through, some of it is very similar to that, where you're confessing the full extent of your resentment, because there's something very powerful about being able to express it. I think the scapegoating thing is more of a community service, whereas this work is more individual, but really necessary for us. We take our bins out regularly. We take care of other trash in our lives, but we don't take care of the inner trash and the mistakes we've made, or actually looking at what do I regret in my life and what do I need to do differently. I think it's essential that we do that, because otherwise you end up with this build up. When I work with groups, I get them to write down their list of all the people they're holding a grievance against. And then I get them to add up how many years they've held each of those grievances. In an individual life, you can have centuries of resentment, just one person. In a collective, thousands of years. I went to a talk on forgiveness a little while ago, 40 people in the room, thousands of years of resentment in that room that's unattended to. And then we wonder why the world is full of the things that it's full of, and we can't seem to be making any progress on settling our differences in a mature way. So for me, it's essential work. In fact, funnily enough, there's a peace negotiator called William Ury. I don't know if you know of his work. Really fantastic. He says that he thought the way to peace was negotiation and peace talks. He said after decades of doing this work, he's come to realize that you cannot have an external peace without there being an internal peace. So back to your point about how we feel about ourselves, that's where it all starts.